Hello everyone, it's Sheena with the Sheena Monet Movement. I hope you all are having a good day. So I am in Tallahassee, Florida, standing on the Goodwood plantation. This plantation has been here since the 1830s, and I have some information that I would like to share with you. I did a tour and the tour was amazing. Amazing thing about this is I toured the big house, the main house, and it still has furniture inside of it that has been there since the 1830s. But as you all know, I always have some great history to share with you. I'm going to tell you information about what I found out about this plantation, and some of it might be a little upsetting, but it is history. If you are interested in learning about history in Tallahassee, this is a great place to come to. If you are a historian, this is a great place to come to. Before I begin, this is the big house, right? This is the main house, and it is beautiful on the inside as well as on the outside. It had many owners. For this video, I'm just gonna focus on two owners, the ones who started here first. If you want to find out more about the other owners, the information is on Google. So here's the history that I want to share with you about this plantation. In the early 1830s, Hardy and brother Brian Croom forced 65 enslaved people to walk from North Carolina to their newly acquired land in Tallahassee, Florida. The journey involved a forced march of 29 days. So you can just imagine driving from Tallahassee to North Carolina. I think that takes about 6 to 7 hours. So just imagine walking. Imagine being forced to walk from North Carolina to Tallahassee, Florida. They say it was 65 enslaved people who started the journey. There's also saying that 65 enslaved people ended up on the land. So maybe they all survived and made it here. So, but I don't know. The plantation, later named Goodwood, became a large-scale cotton operation worked by enslaved people. From 1830 to 1840, master craftsmen who were enslaved built all buildings still on the plantation today. So the main house, when I did a tour inside the main house, I also have pictures that I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. Amazing. The master craftsmen who built the buildings and constructed the inside of these buildings, amazing. I was walking up a staircase and you can't even hear a creak sound. Like nowadays, if you walk up a staircase, sometimes you're gonna hear it creaking. Couldn't even hear it creaking, and it's 2025. So I just think that's amazing. Now, I do wanna focus on the enslaved people who are working on this plantation. I do have a little bit of information that I would like to share with you about some of them. So there was a slave named Lucy, and she was on call for 24 hours a day. So she was on call for 24 hours a day, and she just had to make sure that she was available for anything that they needed. What I found interesting while I was on the tour is the lady who was conducting the tour, she explained that even like if someone was sick, Lucy is the one who would have to take care of them. She also had a child of her own. I don't know who was taking care of her child while she was taking care of other children, but I heard that part, and she sounds like she was an amazing person. She was just on call for 24 hours, and she was enslaved. Enslaved people had to walk from the basement to the rooms that they were called to by a bell that's installed in each room. So there was a bell attached to the walls in each room, and I guess if the plantation owner or the mistress rung the bell, if they were in the cigar room, I'm just calling it a cigar room. I don't know what they were calling it back then. And they needed a lighter or whatever they needed, an enslaved individual will know which room to respond to and come up to the room and take care of what they needed to take care of. Enslaved individuals were wheeled off on this plantation. So any enslaved individual who's on this plantation, say they had to switch ownership, or one owner died and they were wheeling it off to a beneficiary, the slaves were also wheeled off. The enslaved cooks cooked a lot. So they were cooking every day, and many of them burnt their hands. all the way into the point of numbness. So many of them were getting burnt in the kitchen. Their hands would be numb. They will be also experiencing smoke inhalation from all of the cooking every day and breathing in the smoke. We don't know how well the ventilations were in the kitchens back then, you know, but enslaved people are the ones who had to experience trial and error. So you can just imagine how many of them got sick from smoke inhalation. They also had burns on different parts of their bodies. We can only imagine maybe having to lift these heavy pots, put them and transport them, transport hot food, because you know people like their food hot. So there were probably many different reasons why they were getting burned. The lady who was conducting the tour, she explained that this is how most of the enslaved individuals who were like in the field or who were in the kitchen would find out information about what was going on around the world. Politics, anything regarding information that they needed to know that the kitchen help will hear. And I just always wonder how information got around. How would they find out different things? And a lot of the information came from the kitchen help. I thought that was interesting. 200 enslaved individuals worked the Goodwood plantation. This is a really big plantation, and it's beautiful out here. It's extremely calm and peaceful. I haven't really found information online that is disturbing to share with you all. I do see a lot of trees out here. With this being a plantation, I haven't found anything online that is telling us that there were any type of lynchings done out here on any of these trees. But I did want to share this. When I was on the tour, there was the basement that I was explaining and telling you about, where the slaves were, and when they rung the bell, they would come up. The basement was where the enslaved individuals were most of the time. And the lady who was conducting the tour, she also explained to us that enslaved individuals had cleaning schedules, and they would have to make sure they keep like the fireplace clean, make sure there's no dust around. If guests was coming, make sure everything is clean and get out of the way quick, so you won't be seen. So I thought that was a little sad, and the reason why I say that is because they're trying to hurry up and clean and make sure it looks nice, and no one is supposed to see them doing that. So they're making sure they're following rules and getting out the way. And there's a little doorway. It looks like a bookshelf now, but it used to be an opening for the stairs for them to come up and hurry up and do their duties and their tasks, and then hurry up and scoot back down the stairs. So the basement area is not that big. It's nothing but concrete. What disturbed me a little bit is the house is so beautiful and massive, and it was built by black enslaved laborers, but where their living quarters were, I don't see them out here. The lady who did the tour said they don't have any proof of any quarters out here to show us and give us an example of where the enslaved individuals were living. So the basement area, I guess they were just most of the time they were down there. Just waiting to be called up by the master or the plantation owner or the mistress, so they can start their task. And then I don't know if they ended up having to go back down there and lay down. I don't know. I did ask the lady who was conducting the tour, but she wasn't sure either. So, but my only issue was the way it felt down there. Like it was cool, but there's just concrete. There's nothing down. There was nothing down there, and then that was the only place where the enslaved individuals can go into and come back out of whenever they were needed. And I'm gonna also take a video of that area, just I just found that a little sad that the big house was so beautiful on the inside and it was built by them, and then their living their living condition looks like it was just in a basement. But I'm not sure. If you have any information on the living condition of the enslaved individuals back in the 1830s on the Goodwood plantation, please share it with us in the comments, because we don't have, I can't find any information on where the enslaved individuals were living. Once slavery was abolished, the enslaved people who were here on this plantation, a lot of them stayed. The lady who conducted the tour, she explained to us that a lot of them left, but a lot of them did stay. And I would say they probably stayed because they didn't know anything else. A lot of them probably did not know how to read or write. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know where they were. So that's probably why they stayed. They probably didn't want to stay, but that's why they stayed. And they eventually became sharecroppers. Sharecropper, as we all know, is just another fancy, it's just a fancy name for enslaved. So that was very interesting, because the other people who were on the tour with me asked, well, why did they stay? Were they happy here? Of course, she couldn't answer that, because they don't have that much information on the enslaved people here, even around. They just have some information, but when it comes down to that information, they did not have any of that. Going off of some of the photos, and I didn't see anyone looking happy. So I just came up with my reason why I think they stayed is because they didn't know, this is all they knew. I do remember the lady who was conducting the tour saying that the plantation owners and the mistresses were like, now who's gonna feed us? Now who's gonna dress us once slavery was abolished? So I'm gonna go ahead and walk around the plantation and just show you how beautiful and massive this plantation is. The people here who are in control of the plantation, they are extremely nice. A really nice lady met me at the front entrance. I told her what I was gonna do, that I was gonna make a video right in front of the big house, and she was okay with that. And we shared, she gave me her card, and I'm gonna email her and let her know exactly what I do, and hopefully we can create a connection. I'm not doing any of this just to cause harm towards anyone. I'm just documenting history, and unfortunately I keep running into this kind of history, especially when it comes down to African Americans and American history, roles of African Americans in history. This is what I'm coming up with: enslavement in America. So I'm just documenting, and my goal here is to just get solid information and a complete understanding of where do we go from here. We don't want to go back. We don't want to repeat history. We want to make it better so we don't repeat that kind of history. Okay, so here's some information about the main house. It reads, this mansion was built for the Croom family by black enslaved laborers in the 1840s. Originally, it's set on a sprawling plantation well outside the city. Over time, 4 other owners expanded the stately home to the 20 rooms it has today, and Tallahassee grew to surround it. It is beautiful. And like I said, if you're in the Tallahassee area and you like to see the inside of it, you should definitely consider, because it is beautiful. And this was built by black enslaved laborers. Amazing. Extremely sturdy. Okay, we're gonna just walk down this way right here, and I'm gonna show you the little doorway that the tour guide showed me was where the slaves were about to come from, the enslaved individuals. Okay, this is the doorway where the tour guide showed me that enslaved individuals would come out of and go back into once they were done with their task. As you can see, it looks kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. There's a lock on the top of it, and there's a little doorway right there, but it's attached to the house. Here's the house right here. There's another little latch and door right there, but she didn't say anything about that location. So, but I do see a latch on it. really beautiful. And you all know I do videos about lynching trees. Like I said, I don't know if there's I haven't found any information about these trees being any kind of lynching tree. But if you know anything about that or have heard anything about the Goodwood plantation having something to do with lynchings, please comment below and let us know. Here's one that's very interesting over here. This tree right here, I'm gonna go ahead and walk up to it because I'm gonna show you what I see. Okay, I made it. So here's a tree right here. You all know what those bumps are. Those are burls. And I see someone here, right there, right there, and right there. Then there's another tree over here, right there, and right there. And other places on the tree as well. These are really big trees out here. The lady did tell me that these trees are like 300 years old. All of these trees out here are 300 years old. So I don't have any evidence that there were lynchings. But if you know anything about the Goodwood plantation, please share it with us. Located in Tallahassee, Florida. If you are interested in finding out information about the history in Tallahassee, the Goodwood Museum is a great location to begin. Black enslaved laborers are the ones who built the inside of these cottages. And they're still there and they're still sturdy and good condition. So that just tells you just how amazing and naturally skilled we are. And this is why I really believe that it's very important to dig back into history. Because not only do you run across sad events that nobody wants to know about, but you also learn how talented, naturally talented, extremely intelligent Black people are. Thank you for watching.